Hi, everybody. Sorry about the late start. We were having some technical difficulties, but they're all good now. So I hope everybody can hear me okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Louisa, thanks for coming today. We appreciate it.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for asking me to speak.
Yeah.
I'm in my car right now, so because I've been meeting right after this. So
Oh,
uh,
you're
I don't
fine.
have a present like fancy prepared.
You know, people presenting or speaking in their cars is more common than you think in this. I feel like every other one is in their car.
Yeah.
We're all very busy people, so it's fine. I'll let a few more people into the waiting room. Okay.
Morning.
I think I've got most everybody in who's not an AI bot now. So,
Morning, Rebecca.
good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we give it one more minute and see if anybody else rolls in. But I think for the most part, this should be it. Oh, we got Paula is here. That's great. Let her in really quick. And Jill. Okay. All right. So, Sean, you had emailed me. You're leading today, correct?
Yes. Yes, I
Yes.
am.
Okay. Thank you so much for doing that. And we're really excited.
No problem. Okay, I'll get started. So we're going to do a quick little icebreaker to get started, and then we're going to have Louisa Rogers talk about her program, Center for New Directions, and then after that, we can do a roundtable. Okay, so the question that I have for our icebreaker is, what are 3 words that best describe you? And I'm going to give Brittany the first go ahead. Brittany, why don't you tell us 3 words that best describe you?
Oh gosh, I don't know if I had enough coffee yet, but I'll try. Curious, engaged, creative.
All right, I love that. All right, next on my list is Donna. Donna, what are 3 words that best describe you?
Oh boy. I would say anxious, creative, and compassionate.
All right. Let's see. We have Paula Lyon.
Oh, I guess my camera's not on. Anyway, mine's gonna be a little bit different. I would say my 3 words are just do it. I'm gonna just do it, girl. Just get her done. Just do it.
Love it. Boss girl. Okay. Next on the list is Evelyn.
Okay, so that's a hard one. So I would say compassionate, spiritual, and hardworking.
Perfect. Next on my list is G.I. Dixon. Sorry, it doesn't say your first name. All right, I'll move on to the next one. Jill.
Okay, sorry folks, I'm driving along here, so bear with me. Short, empathetic, and fun.
Love that. All right, Lisa Donaldson.
This is big for 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. My favorite phrase has always been live, laugh, and rock and roll. So we'll just go with that.
Awesome. I love that. KJ Brandt.
I just jumped on, so I didn't hear the question.
Oh, yes, of course. The question is, what are 3 words that best describe you?
Oh boy, come back to me. Let me think about that.
Okay, will do. Louisa, what about you?
I like how someone says short, so I'll say tall. And then I think I'm a unifier and I'm creative.
Perfect. Marie Holmes.
So it's kind of funny you say this because for the last like 20 years of my life, I've referred to myself as a closet liberal hippie.
I love that.
Me too.
All right, Jackie, why don't you go?
Sorry, I didn't mean to burst out.
No,
Obviously,
you're
I'm
fine.
a little rambunctious. I would go with, okay, I'm medium if we're going with height descriptions. I think I'm pretty funny and occasionally slightly inappropriate.
All right.
But passionate at the same time and down to earth. So too many words. Sorry, I break all the rules.
Keeping things interesting. I like it. Let's see here. Who is with the North Idaho Pride Alliance?
Hi, I'm Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay.
I would say parent, mother, and I like passionate and curious as well.
Awesome. Michaela Brown.
Hey, I'm with Early Head Start. I would say I am gritty and dynamic and determined.
All right. I see Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel Peterson with United Way of North Idaho. I'm just going to go objectively with my strength finder because I don't feel that I've had enough time to reflect. So maybe I should say I'm an overthinker, but that's achiever, strategic, and connected.
That. Sherry.
I'm going to go with friendly, organized, and hardworking. And I'm from the City of Coeur d'Alene CDBG program.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for the introduction too. I forgot to tell people to also introduce themselves. Tara.
Hi, I'm with the Idaho Department of Labor. So I would say my 3 are proactive, motivated, and open-minded.
Love that. All right, going back to Paula, I think it was.
Whoops. Oh, I think I've already done mine.
Oh, who was it?
Do it,
Oh,
girl.
it was
I think it
KJ
was
Brandt.
KJ.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Thanks.
Did it.
Yes, KJ Brandt with Idaho Children's Trust Fund. And I think collaborator, people told me I'm adventurous and non-judgmental.
Nice. Love that. All right. Was there anybody on the list that I missed? The list moves around a lot, so if I missed anybody, you can speak up now. All right. I think that was it. So I'll just say mine real quick. The 3 words that I think best describe me are loyal, reserved, and compassionate. And I'm Sean with Equus Workforce Solutions, by the way. Okay, so that was our quick little icebreaker. Next is going to be Louisa Rogers talking about her and her programs. So Louisa, go ahead and take it off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Louisa with Center for New Directions at North Idaho College. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about the Center for New Directions. And then I'm actually going to pass it on to Brittany, who is on the call. And Brittany is going to share her experience working with the Center for New Directions as a single mom And it's actually pretty cool because Brittany has kind of come full circle where she started working with me as a single mom, and now she's actually working with me as an employee at the center, helping single moms on their journey, which is really wonderful. So she just put a link to our program in the chat. And this is where you can find information about Center for New Directions and the application if you have a client who you think would be a good fit for our program. So, but before I get started, because I have to actually log off when I'm done speaking, because I have another appointment, which is why I'm in my car, I am going to just do a quick roundtable announcement right now, which is that on October 28th, we are having our annual Charity Reimagined training at North Idaho College in the upstairs of the sub. And this is on the 8 domains of wellness. We have about 70 people registered. We have 100-ish seats available. So if you haven't registered yet, I really encourage that you come to this training. It will be led by Keith Orchard and Raylan Loken, which are two wonderful local people who in the mental health world, many of you know them. They're excellent public speakers, and they're going to be teaching us about the 8 domains of wellness and how that applies in our personal lives and how we can also help our clients dive into these different domains. And we'll be giving away 8 raffles for each domain, and they're really good raffles. So I'm really excited about that. Anyway, so I think Brittany put that into the chat, the registration link. It's only $30 and it comes with lunch, which is a screaming deal. Okay, so the Center for New Directions. I'm curious how many people have heard of the Center for New Directions. I see a couple. Thank you, KJ. KJ's heard of it. She helps me a lot. So the Center for New Directions has actually been around for a really long time. It started in the 1970s, and a lot of people don't know that because, especially in Coeur d'Alene area, the feedback I've received is that people are hearing about it more in the last few years, really since I started, which was just about 4 years ago now, is when I started at the Center for New Directions. And when I started, there were around 30 participants in the center. And at the end of last fiscal year, we had just about 300 participants. And we would have had more than that, but I had put a pause on all new applications last February because we got so overwhelmed. We had to stop accepting new applications. So there's a great need for what we're doing at the center in this community. And so going back to when it started in the 70s, it actually was started in North Idaho. A group of women in North Idaho petitioned the state to fund a program that would support single parents and displaced homemakers. And this happened because as divorce was becoming more prevalent within our culture, these women in North Idaho saw what is known as the divorce gap. And that was where they were able to exit their marriage after a divorce. And they realized that they didn't exiting their marriage after getting married right out of high school, having a bunch of kids, being a homemaker, raising their children at home. They exited a marriage with no education other than their high school diploma, with no work experience, nothing to put on their resume. They had their beautiful children, but they had no way to sustain themselves financially and to support themselves moving forward. And this was a problem, whereas their husband left the marriage with the same connections, the same job, the same resume, the same education, right? And so this was a gap. This is a gap that needed to be addressed. And the state of Idaho decided to fund these centers, which is really cool. So there are 6 centers around the state of Idaho, and the one in North Idaho is located under North Idaho College. And each center is run differently. Our center, the Center for New Directions at NIC, is run really like a social service agency. And that's because my experience in my work has been in social service. I was a probation officer before this. And before that, I did child welfare. And so what I saw was that if we really want to help someone get to a place of financial stability, then it's so much more than helping someone register for classes, right? We have to go a lot deeper than that and see the root cause of what's happening within their life and address that. So we serve single parents and displaced homemakers. The majority of those we serve are women. They're mostly single moms, but we do have some single dads that we work with. And a displaced homemaker, according to the state of Idaho, the definition of that is someone who had been relying on their spouse's income as the primary income within the household. And then something happened, whether that be divorce, disability, or death. The most common thing we see is divorce. So a lot of our single moms overlap with the displaced homemaker definition, but we do have women who are maybe older and their kids are all grown, or they don't have children and their husbands passed away, or they went through a divorce, or maybe there was a disability and we're working with them and maybe there aren't kids involved. So we used to, up until recently, serve anyone regardless of whether or not they wanted to be a student. But in the last couple months, we had to change who we're serving to only those who are interested in pursuing their education in some way. And that's just because we had to figure out a way to make our caseload manageable because there is so much need. So just for you to know, when it does come, if you have someone who's a single mom or a single dad or a displaced homemaker and you think they might be a good fit for our program, they do need to want to pursue their education. And that could be an associate's degree, that could be a 4-year degree, that could be a 2-month certificate. They just need to be pursuing their education in some way. If they want to pursue employment, we typically will refer them to the Department of Labor or EQUIS or something for, the different employment services, but we will have, we can short-term work with them. So if you know someone who just needs to meet with someone and maybe work on their resume and come up with some ideas, we're happy to meet with them maybe just once or twice, but they wouldn't be on our caseload long term. So that's just a little bit about who we are serving. So how do we serve these people within our community? I really break it down into 4 categories. And the first one is education support. And so that makes sense because we do work under NIC, right? So we help people. The first thing we have everyone we work with do is complete the STRONG assessment. And this is actually a free resource that you can use for your own participants. So the STRONG assessment is the most comprehensive career assessment that exists. And North Idaho College has a grant for community members to be able to take this assessment so they don't have to pay for it. And so Brittany just put in the chat a link to the Career Services webpage where they can sign up if you want to take this, or if you have a client who might be interested. This link will take you to a page that you can sign up for a career assessment. We have them in Zoom and we have them in person at NIC, and it's really cool because it aligns your personality with different career options, and then it even tells you how much if those are popular jobs, if they're in high demand, if they pay well. So that's the first thing that we have our participants do, which just kind of gives them an idea for what their future might look like and the different options that are available. And then if they're interested in education, we'll help them through all of that, applying for FAFSA, applying to NIC, applying for scholarships. It can be very overwhelming. So we will walk them through that. We're happy to do that. So we do help in that sense with education, but really the majority of our time goes into our second category, which is support services, because it's impossible to be successful within your education if you are living in chaos within your personal life. So a lot of what we do is assessing the personal life stuff so that they can be successful in school. So this looks like ensuring that, they have the proper supports. Maybe their tire blows on their way to school. And so what are they going to do? They need to be able to get to school. They need to be able to get to work. So we're able to help resource that for them. We have access to some emergency funds that can help with gas. We are able to provide, we have a scholarship fund right now to help with childcare costs for our students. So we have different resources, but a lot of what we do is actually resource to the community. Because there's amazing resources in Coeur d'Alene. So we're always looking at the resources within the community and who we can connect someone to. And something we do really well is we are connectors. And so if someone has a need and we know that this need is really important for them, we don't just give them a list of potential resources. I am really passionate about this. So if you've heard me talk before, you've heard me talk about this, but I call it ping-ponging around the system when we are working with a client who has a need and we just give them a list of potential options that could help them. This is a big pet peeve of mine. So I'm going to gently encourage you, if you see that this is something you do within your organization, that you maybe consider changing it up a bit, because it's a very frustrating experience as the client, as the participant. So an example is a single mom who is $200 short on rent. And $200 might as well be $2,000, because that's, if you don't have it, you don't have it. And it's due in just a few days. And if you don't pay it by the last day in your lease that it says you can be late, then you start accruing a $50 a day late fee. So pretty soon that $200 is hundreds of dollars. And the next step is getting an eviction notice. So that small $200 crisis suddenly becomes $1,000 or more, right? And that small $200 crisis escalates so quickly. So if I'm working with a participant who's in this crisis and I don't have the funding to help her with that $200, what I don't want to do is say, hey, I heard that there's this other resource that might be able to help. And then she calls that resource, and that resource says, sorry, we're out of funding, but you can try this church. And she calls that church, and the church says, we no longer offer that support, but I heard this nonprofit down the road might be able to help. So she calls that nonprofit, right? And she's ping-ponged all around all the different helping agencies. And each time someone answers the phone, she has to retell her story. She has to re-explain what happened. And the whole experience is quite humiliating and demoralizing, and really makes her feel like a failure over and over again each time she has to share. So what we do is that we ping pong ourselves for her. And this is something that we do for our clients, because we know them, we know their story, and we ask, are you comfortable with us trying to find a resource for you? And of course they say yes. So then we make the calls and we advocate on their behalf until we find the resource that says, yes, we can help her with the $200. And then we tell her to call this resource. We know the name, we have the number, we have the contact information, and we're able to get her directly in contact with the right person who can help, so that she's not spending her precious time as a single mom balancing work, balancing school, balancing kids on the phone, right? So this is something that is maybe our number one value as the Center for New Directions, is that we want to really respect our clients. We want to make sure that their experience working with us is very dignified, that we are making every interaction as dignified as possible, and that we are helping them in a way that truly helps. And so that's really important to us. And so with that, we do utilize you, all of you. And then many of you have gotten calls from me where I'm like, I need help. This is the situation. Can you help? Do you know someone who can help? So we really lean on the community. And I think it's so beautiful, this community that we live in. There's so much help out there. There's many organizations and churches and individuals who want to invest in people who are investing in themselves, and which is really beautiful. Something else that we do, another one of our pillars, is teaching life skills. Many of the women that we work with are stuck in generational patterns of abuse, of addiction, of trauma. And oftentimes they didn't have a way to learn a lot of these different life skills that are necessary to be successful. So we hold different events and workshops where we talk about important things. We are right now doing our Pathways to Prosperity curriculum. We're doing this Pathways to Prosperity is a financial literacy program that looks at financial wellness in a holistic lens. And so instead of just like teaching someone how to budget and calling it good, we are really diving in and thinking about the different root causes of poverty, and really addressing financial wellness from the lens of someone who is living in poverty, right? Most of our financial wellness curriculums that exist out there are really made for the middle class. Like, just don't eat out as much. Don't go to the movies as frequently, and that's not the case for a single mom who has no budget to eat out or go to the movies, and she still doesn't have enough each month. So that's a really cool program that we're doing. It's an 11-week program, and we're doing that in partnership with the Kroc Center right now. We also have, we've done healthy relationship workshops to try to get to the root cause of why many of our participants are engaging in unhealthy relationships. They recognize a pattern within themselves that they have been in. Each relationship is a different guy, but like same guy, right? And so they're recognizing this, but they're like, okay, how do I see the red flags though? How do I not make this mistake again? So we've had some really fun conversations and really fun workshops on this. And when we do a healthy relationship workshop, it is a full house. The last one we had, we ran out of seats. We had to bring more seats in because our participants want this. We don't require it. We don't require them to participate in any of these programs. They show up completely on their own because they are really hungry for change, which is a really cool thing. For all of our workshops and all of our life skill events, we always offer childcare and we offer food. And we do it in the evening because we know that it is unrealistic for people to show up if there's not childcare, we're not going to feed them and their kids. And if we're doing it like while they're at work, so we try to be incredibly accommodating and look at their life and try to fit into their life the best we can. And then through that, the fourth pillar is community. We have developed the coolest community between the women that we work with. They get to know each other through coming to events, through coming to the workshops, and through just meeting each other at different support groups or seeing each other and passing outside of our office. They know each other and they become friends. And that's so cool because I talk about this, how we working in like the nonprofit world, we are artificial supports in the lives of our clients. If I get another job, I'm probably not going to see them again, right? I'm not going to stay in touch. I'm an artificial support, but helping them create real supports is huge because then it doesn't matter if you have a friend in someone who's going to support you. That's so much more important than being connected to a nonprofit. So we've seen that happen firsthand. One of my favorite stories is a single mom who, it was Christmas break and the college was shutting down for 2 weeks for Christmas break, and her car in the parking lot of the college started smoking, like billowing smoke. It wouldn't turn on. When she tried turning on, it was really frightening. She didn't know what was wrong. So I was helping her figure out a tow. I was helping her figure out a car shop that would do car repairs, but it was not going to be an easy fix, a quick fix. And she was panicking because she had 5 kids and it was Christmas break. And what's she going to do without a car? And as she was sharing this with me, another woman who was a displaced homemaker, older, all of her kids were out of the house, was listening. And she said, and she knew this woman, they knew each other. And she said, you can use my car. It's Christmas break. I'm just going to hang out in my apartment and watch movies and like chill and relax, sleep. She said, you can have my car for Christmas break. And if I need to go grocery shopping, you can come pick me up and take me grocery shopping. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever, right? Because there's no way I could have offered her a car. That's totally outside of my means. But a friend offering a friend a car, that's brilliance. And that is what I think real authentic community can do for someone. And we see that with like a mom, her kid's sick, can't go to daycare, but she has an exam. It's 2 hours. What am I going to do? She calls another mom that she's met through our single mom group. And that mom's like, I'll hang out with your kid while you're doing your exam. And so we see this beautiful community happening within the Center for New Directions. So those are our like 4 main pillars. It's a really beautiful program. And I think through it, we're able to impact lives in a really meaningful way because we're not just doing surface level stuff. We're really trying to dive deep. My one thing I'll say is that because we have such a high caseload, there are so many people who we are working with. We're kind of at capacity. We're still accepting applications right now, but we're not able to get back to everyone as quickly as we once were. So I always, if you do refer people to us, I ask that you send an email and let me know that they're going to be applying. So it's on my radar and that you let them know that we might not get back to them right away. And if they like complain and be like, I've emailed them and no one's responding, tell them to email us again, please, because things will get lost. We're just at the point where it's really hard to keep up with everything. But we're doing our best. I don't want to limit applications because I want to be able to help all those who qualify, who need help. But it's like a balance of like, and then maybe I'm helping everyone, but not doing it as well as I could be if I had a smaller caseload. So it's a little complicated, but we're trying to hang in there. Anyway, so that is a little like overview of the Center for New Directions. And then Brittany, if you could share for like 5 to 10 minutes, kind of your experience as a single mom working with the Center for New Directions and what that looked like for you. I think that would be kind of impactful for everyone to hear.
Sure. Hi, I'm Brittany. Thank you, Louisa. I'm really grateful to be included in this today and kind of put faces to names because I'm horrible at names, but I always remember faces, as Louisa knows really well. yeah, when I met Louisa, it was about not long after she had started and taken over the position at Center for New Directions, and I was in crisis as a single mom. I'm a mom of 5 kids, ranging right now from ages 4 years old up to 19. So 2 of mine are in college now, and they're out of the house, and I have 3 at home now. But when I came to her, a relationship had ended. I was that displaced homemaker. I had a baby, so I had been at home caring for the baby. I didn't have income. And I found myself homeless. I didn't have a car, I didn't have a home, and I had 5 kids. And it was a devastating blow, obviously. And I had been enrolled in school at North Idaho College years before as a younger mom, but I had dropped out at that time due to life circumstances. And so I made the decision that I wanted to go back to school, even prior to the fact that I had found housing. I was living with my sister. Thank God she had available space in her home, because we were also in a housing crisis. There were wait lists everywhere, and so it wasn't just something I could just get right into a new space. When I made the decision to re-enroll, I had a friend who was in the social work program, and she's the one who suggested I talk to Louisa. And so I went into her office and did so, and I really didn't know what she did. I was in survival mode, like many of our clients are when they find us. And so I sat down and I explained my situation, and she just went into social worker mode, and kind of started just making sure my ducks were in a row, making sure that I could get into a space of basic security so that I could stay focused on completing my education. So with her help, I was able to complete my associate's degree through North Idaho College. I was able to move on to Lewis Clark State College and get my bachelor's in social work, where I then interned with her. It was an amazing experience. And then while interning with her, she asked me, she said, we could really use a financial program to work with our clientele, like something where we could teach them basic financial literacy skills. And as a single parent who has lived in low income situations, I told her I've done those classes and nothing has really stuck with me over a long period of time. Like, I would go to a budgeting class, I would try, but life circumstances as a single parent were so overwhelming that it would just get lost and I'd find myself back in survival mode. And so the other intern, Terry Simmons, and I made a decision that we were going to create this financial literacy program specifically for people in this demographic, and not just address the financial tools, though those were important, also address the emotions around money, the history around money, scarcity mindset, and how it affects our long-term decision making, and even interweave mindfulness practices in so we can teach them self-awareness, and so we're not just operating out of survival and emotions. And so this has been an amazing experience. We did that for our senior research project. We got great results. Louisa supported us to make that possible. And then the Kroc Center decided that they wanted to fund that program this fall and spring, and it sounds like that's going to continue. So that's just one example of how I think C&D is different, is that they understand that the women in these situations do not want to be dependent on services. They don't, but they are kind of in a position where they lack the tools, and they also lack the understanding, and there's so much stigma around their circumstances. So for me, when I found C&D, I got help with all kinds of things to keep me on track. I had a bad car, and so there were times that that car broke down, and I was connected to things like Charity Reimagined, which helped to pay for car repairs. I was connected to scholarships. So as a result of my connection to Center for New Directions, I did not pay a dime out of pocket for my bachelor's degree. It was all funded by scholarships. Scholarships like the Seroptimus Society, a woman's scholarship called the Jeanette Rankin Scholarship. And then I was connected to similar to a work study program through Lewis Clark State College, but none of that would have been possible without my connection to Center for New Directions. And so I was able to not just make it through school, but have the funds also to survive without pushing myself to the brink, which created time and space for me and my kids to heal, So I was able to participate in therapy in a lot of the workshops that C&D did, from the healthy relationship workshops to parenting classes to a single mom support group. And I found a sense of community. And so I kind of joke with Louisa that when I when I was done with my degree and my internship hours were done, I told her, I'm not going to stop interning for you until I have a job. And so I just kept showing up. I was like, I'm not going anywhere. I want to work for, this is what I'm passionate about because of how this program truly changed my life. And I mean, there were times I would get support of a loving ear, somebody who could hear me and let me cry for a minute when life felt heavy. Sometimes it was diapers when I didn't have diapers, and sometimes it was gas to get to and from an appointment or an interview or whatever was coming up, And as a result, I'm so passionate about teaching women in similar circumstances that they don't have to remain a victim to those circumstances. While at the same time offering them intense compassion. Yeah, so I do love that we focus on the fact that everybody has a story and it's unique. We try to meet people where they're at and arm them with the tools to also better their life while showing up for them while they're in crisis. So it is a program that aids in giving you the tools to succeed. So there's work that it's not just handouts, but when C&D sees you investing in your future and really engaged in that, then the resources show up to support you. And that was so incredibly valuable to my own experience. So now I'm working for Louisa, hanging on until I'm not leaving till they give me a full-time position. And I'm teaching Pathways to Prosperity, which I absolutely love. And I'm seeing a lot of growth there too. And at this point, I'm also working to hopefully start a small nonprofit. So I'm kind of just, I'm so inspired by C&D and Louisa and what she does. And I'm so beyond grateful to be a part of it. I did put in the chat our email addresses per Louisa's recommendation. So if you guys have any questions or people you might be interested in referring or whatever, please feel free to reach out. And yeah, does anybody have any questions for me about our program that I might be able to answer? Do my best.
I have a question, a favor to ask, and I'm gonna send you an email about this as well. But I'm kind of the messenger to all of our direct serve who are actively working with families in our program about just different resources I learn about in the area, and I've found it incredibly helpful if I can have somebody send an email to me that I can forward to staff that is just like what you guys do, what you offer, what's the eligibility, and then what's the intake process. That I just find it so much more valuable coming from someone at the agency than me like doing the telephone thing. So I think if you guys could do something like that, that would be really helpful.
I would be absolutely beyond honored to do that and put that together. And I can send it out to any and everyone who's interested. But yes, if you send me a reminder email, that would be greatly appreciated. And I'll sit down with Louisa and put something together that you can send out. I agree that it's a little easier to get an idea of the heart of a program when it comes directly from those that are running it. So
great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, does anybody else have any questions for Brittany?
Hi, this is Jackie Stallings. I just have a logistics question. Do you also work with single dads if they qualify with the income situation?
Yes, we do work with single dads. We have a couple. One example that stands out to me is a man who served some time due to gang-related challenges in his youth in the prison system. But when he got out and while he was in prison, he really changed his life by engaging in a lot of recovery services and educational opportunities. So when he came out, he was really ready to turn a new leaf. We've supported him in getting gang-related tattoos removed through grants and funding because he really wanted to go into the education system where he felt that that might impact his ability to get a good job. And he's shown up to a lot of our support services. So yes, we definitely do support single dads. They're just a little bit more rarely the ones to walk through our door, but please send them our way. And if they qualify, we will definitely work with them.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Brittany, for telling us your story. I know that C&D has referred a lot of people to our Equus program, and they always say amazing things about C&D. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, of course. All right. Well, I guess we will start our roundtable. So who would like to go first and talk about their program and any updates that they may have?
This is Chrissy from Navigation I'll Go, and I apologize for not having my camera on. For some reason today, if I have my camera on, I can't hear anything. So here we are. Just a quick update for our program. We have our emergency assistance funding, our career enhancement funding, and our kinship funding. And for those who may be new to the call, I see lots of familiar faces, but emergency assistance funding, quick overview, we primarily use for rent utilities, not limited to that. However, that's our most typical use of that funding. And then our career enhancement funding we can use to help individuals with an expense to either maintain or obtain employment. And then our kinship funding we use to support families who are raising children when their parents are unable to. So we have funding. Our referral volume's been pretty busy, but so far we're managing to keep up. So we are business as usual.
All right, thanks, Chrissy. Who else? Who else we got?
This is Jackie from the Commission for the Blind. Sorry, I tried to turn my camera on. I have the same issues. Our Wi-Fi likes either camera or staying online. Nothing really to report, just a few, we're just keeping up with what we're doing, just to remind people we are an agency that serves blind or visually impaired individuals. We have 3 different programs. We have an independent living program, which serves anybody that is visually impaired who is not interested or able to work. We can go into homes, provide things like magnifiers. We do things like mark appliances to help people remain independent. So for some people, that might just be putting a tactile mark on a coffee pot so they can pour coffee and not have to rely on other people to do that. I work for the vocational rehabilitation program, so I work close with EQUIS and Department of Labor. And in theory, could work with Center for New Directions as well. We work with anybody who is blind or has a vision impairment that is interested in work, and we provide support to eliminate their vision impairment being a barrier to employment. And our last program is Sight Restoration, which is a program that is a state-only funded program that can provide sight-saving surgeries. For the most part, that tends to be cataract surgeries, but that's not limited to that. So we work with people who do not have health insurance or who are unable to pay the copays for those surgeries who would go blind without them. And we can provide the financial assistance up to $5,000 per lifetime limit to those people so they can have the vision saving surgeries that they need. Yeah, if anybody ever has any questions, we're icbvi.idaho.gov. And even if you just wanted to learn more about our agency, I'm always open to doing that. So thank you, Sean, for hosting today.
Yeah, of course. All right. Who else has an update?
Hi, I'm from North Idaho Pride Alliance. I'm actually the intern for them for BSU MSW program. I'm one of the first, well, I'm actually the first intern that have had, which I'm pretty excited about. One of some of the things that I'm working on is like community outreach and contacting people who are willing to put up a pride sticker in their window so that they can be seen as a welcoming, inclusive place. I'm going to put my email in the chat, and if you guys would like a sticker or you know anybody within the community who I can go and talk to about NIPA, please email me. Also, if you don't have the newsletter, the NIPA newsletter, please email me with that too. That has all of our events that are going on. Some of the things to look forward to. I'm actually creating a LGBT recovery support group that will be held at the 208 Recovery building downtown. And then we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with the legislation session. So we're doing for the LGBT community or allies, know your rights within Idaho. And then if you want to be kind of someone who is that advocate or voice for them as well, when it comes to the bills that are going to be presented in the legislation session, then there's opportunities for that as well. I'm trying to think. We are going to be doing a couple showings of documentaries. So one of them is 1946, and that's going to be kind of directed towards religious affiliates in regards to what the term homosexuality means in the Bible and how it was misrepresented. So if you guys have any questions about that, I'm just really trying hard to kind of branch out and get North Idaho Pride Alliance known within the community. I think definitely with the stuff going on right now, it's very important. So feel free to email me with any questions, or if you'd like to have me come visit you or anything like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like KJ wants to go.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to let everybody, I'm going to throw it in the chat right now, know that the Parent Voice Summit is coming upon us. It's November 8th, which is a Saturday, free to anyone raising children at Lakes Community Middle School. And the goal of the summit is to create connections, help parents develop more advocacy skills to advocate for the children in school, healthcare, childcare, etc. Registration is live. I put the link in the chat. We'll provide free breakfast and a free catered lunch for everyone who's coming. The space seating, the parents is limited to 80, unlimited amount for children. The kiddo 0 to 5 will be watched at Lakes Middle School. 6 to 18 will be at the Boys and Girls Club. And the summit is happening in 4 locations on that same day statewide. So it's a statewide parent engagement initiative. And we ask that all of you, I've been sending the flyers out and the registration. And if you haven't seen that, just pop your email in the chat and I'll get you that information to you. Because I can cut and paste those while we're sitting here. And so we really just want parents that you work with that you feel could use some connection with other parents, some advocacy training to engage more with their schools, engage more with their kids. These are the people that we would love to have attend this event. We're also looking for vendors to host parent opportunity tables. So these are not your normal resource table. They have to be actionable. That means we want the parents right there, then and there, to have sign-up sheets, to be a volunteer for something, to take a training, to become a board member or a committee member for something. We want, it has to be actionable, and there is an application form to be a parent engagement vendor. And if it's something that you have to do through a computer, then we want your computer there and to help them sign up for that. We want parents to really not just think about being engaged, but leave their being part of something in our community, being new. Finally, we are going to have a parent cafe as part of this from about 10 to 11:30 in the morning. I need about 20 table hosts. And each table will have 4 parents at it. It's not challenging. It's just a great opportunity to lead some discussion with 4 parents at your table. So if you're interested in that, please put your name in the chat and put after it table host, and I'll add your email, your name and your email, and that you're interested in to be a table host to that list, so that then we can reach out to you. And someone's asking me which one. Any questions about that?
Just my computer died, so I wasn't sure what event you were talking about.
Okay, is the Parent Voice Summit.
Okay, that's the one that's on the 8th?
Yes.
Perfect.
And Sean, I'll send you the information right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, this is Paula Lyon. I have to jump off at 10 for another call, so if I can go really quick, I'd appreciate it.
Go for it.
Thank you. I'm the McKinney-Vento, or the homeless liaison for the Coeur d'Alene School District. So busy identifying our students and getting through homecoming and, school supplies and all of that. But beyond that, I have the Hope on the Home Front, which is another collaboration group. We meet on of community partners, and we meet on the first and third Mondays of every month. It's an open collaboration. You can come once a year, you can come every month, you can as often or as little as you want to contribute and update us on what your new requirements are. And right now I've got 52 people, our entities or community partners on the group. KJ, some of you are on the list and you do come. And so I want to open that up to include some of the other people on this call. Not that you need another meeting this month, but or monthly, but it is, I don't know, it's a really good opportunity. We have very organic collaboration. It's 12 to 1:30. You can bring lunch if you want. And we just kind of do a quick roundtable. And then what usually comes out of that is we identify a gap in services or duplication services, or we just have a very collaborative, it just becomes very organic, and I call it organic collaboration. So I'm sort of a this process is also a connecting type process. And so if you're not on my invite list, please put your name in the chat and I will add you to that as well. Would love to see you and have you come present about your programs and what your, kind of what your entry criteria is and who our contact person is, so we can do the advocating as Louisa says, like to do that as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Paula.
And Paula, can you throw your email in the chat as well, please? Thank you.
All right. Does anybody else have any updates?
I do. Okay, so support is next Thursday, 11 to 1:30 at the fairgrounds. Also, Coats for Kids, St. Vincent's will be the distribution center this year. So that starts, actually, you can come start getting coats on October 27th. And we will be having a Stewards of Children, child sexual abuse prevention training coming up. If anybody's interested in taking that, you need to get a hold of me right away. I'll put my email in the chat. And that's it for now.
All right. Thank you, Donna. All right. Does anybody else have any updates from their program?
This is Marie Holmes from CityLink. I just wanted to first off thank everybody for all of their input on helping us shape our human transportation services plan. Kind of excited to announce that the plan has a draft. It's published and it's available for review. There is a lot of information in there about possible changes, additions, consolidations of bus stops. So I just wanted to encourage everybody to please review it. We have scheduled our public input meetings. Now, this is the meetings where people are actually have the opportunity to make public comment, and it is limited to what is in the Human Service Transportation Plan. So those meetings are going to be held October 16th from 4:30 to 5:30 at the Coeur d'Alene Library. October 22nd from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Post Falls Library, and October 23rd, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Hayden Library. I also have a QR code that's available for anyone who would like to post this in their establishment for people to be able to scan to get access to the transportation plan. And I can also put it out on email. So anybody who needs that information, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you.
Marie, is that information available on your website? The meetings?
You would think it would be, right? But it is not. So
can you email that to me?
I certainly will, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marie.
Thank you.
All right. Does anybody else have any updates about their own programs? All right. Well, Rebecca, is there anything that you wanted to say to close out the meeting?
Yes, first of all, I just wanted to thank you, Sean. I wanted to thank everybody for the resources that they handed over the last few weeks for that family that I had sent out on mass email to all of you. It all made a very large difference. And though that journey is not over for that individual, help was given and we are very grateful, and I know that her family is as well. So thank you for that. We are still looking for additional resources for her if you come upon anything later that you think of. So still feel free to get in contact with me or Louisa or my associate Sarah Welch at United Way. And then also we are doing a similar drive partnering with Winton School District. They're in need of not just coats, but they are in need of just warm clothing in general for their students there. And I'm going to share my screen with you for just a second, and you can learn more about this on Volunteer North Idaho, and then we'll have it up on our website shortly as well. It's called the Bundle Up Drive. This is, again, exclusively just for Winton, but we have the details here if you need them, and I can also circulate this flyer. The drop-off locations for these items will be at United Way of North Idaho, but it'll also be at Winton Elementary. So yeah, if you have any items like gloves, hats, scarves, boots, I'm sure even warm, thick wool socks for kids would be extremely welcome. I myself used to be a teacher, and you would not believe how many students show up and go outside to play without the proper materials and come in, and their little hands and toes just look like frozen little hams when they come inside. So if you have any of these items, we are hoping that they are new. We are accepting extremely gently used, but we would like new items for these students if anybody is interested in helping out with that. And then our day of caring has just wrapped up, and that was a huge success. So thank you to anybody who participated, anybody who volunteered. It went very well this year, and we're very happy with the results. So we look forward to doing it again soon. But that is all I have for now. I guess everybody just have a great rest of your day. And again, thank you so much for all your support and for showing up here today.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you.